Well, here we are, John.
It feels good to come out of the rain and be here in O'Connell's right now. It's something comforting about being in an Irish bar to me, always.
Especially during the month of March, St. Patty's. I mean,
yeah, dude, and especially since there's no parade this year, we are lucky that we always have O'Connell's.
Yes, good Irish food.
Oh,
good
right?
Irish drinks.
And go for a lamb stew or some fish and chips right about now. But that's not what we're here to do.
So
right?
yes, welcome to March's edition of Old Town Cocktail Virtual Happy Hour.
We got an awesome lineup for you today. We're here at O'Connell's. It's March, St. Patrick's Day. But we're not just talking that. We're talking with our friends from Boxwood, talking with our friends from Port City Brewery. We're going to make us an Irish 57, Port City Optimum Wit. I am psyched. You ready to do this?
Let's go.
All right, awesome.
How we doing? I'm Paul Smith, the bar manager here at Daniel O'Connell's. Today I'm going to be making you an Irish 57. We're going to be using the Gunpowder Irish Gin. Going to pour an ounce of that. Put that into our shaker. Followed by a little bit of fresh lemon juice. Followed by a little dash of simple syrup. 0.5. Once you have it all in your shaker, you can give it a good shake. Strain it off into your champagne flute. Top to it, Alexandria's own Port City Optimum Wit. And that is the Irish 57.
All right, Paul, thank you. That was an amazing Irish 57. Now, I have the chance to sit down with Niamh O'Donovan here, who is the general manager, company president, and happens to be one of my favorite people in Old Town to talk about everything O'Connell's here. Niamh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. We absolutely love having you all here with us today.
I love being here today, too. It's nice to be able to hang out with you in kind of a calm setting, too, because I know you're always so busy.
Right.
Doing so much with this place. So first and foremost, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about O'Connell's.
So actually, funnily enough, this month we're open 15 years,
Woo!
which is really exciting.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting. A lot has happened
Yeah.
in the 15 years. I mean, literally, this whole building has been a labour of love for the owner, John Brennan, particularly, you know, and he's in Ireland right now,
Yep.
in Kilkenny, he has another restaurant in Waterford called the Uluru.
Sure.
And so this has been a lifelong passion of John's, and just bringing that genuine Irish feel to Old Town.
Oh, and let me just say, the general Irish feel, man, it's hard to cultivate like a vibe or a feeling in a restaurant, and that's something that we always seek to create. Certainly seems like you have nailed it here. Walking in that door, you immediately are transported. So you said something about building the restaurant. Right. Tell me a little bit about the restaurant, like the things that are in here. It is so unique, and it goes on for days as you go up the stairs.
Right, so everything, like literally, John, when they were fitting out the whole building, they came over with 47 craftsmen who were all Irish, and they literally, like 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, were working on the building that we have today. This was originally part of Bullfeathers, if people can remember.
I remember Bullfeathers.
Right.
Oh,
Right. So
Yeah.
Bullfeathers, and also there was a milliner's shop. I believe it was Hats in the Belfry, I believe was the name of it. So there were two businesses and two buildings, and essentially the building was bought and just transformed into one. So everything did come from Ireland. So I mean, when you come into O'Connell's, you're not just coming into an Irish bar, you really are coming in to experience literally a walk around history.
Yeah.
Because everything here has come from castles and cathedrals and castles throughout all of Ireland. And like I said, it has been a labour of love. Every single nook and cranny has its own unique story.
Yeah.
And we try and show that off, because we're obviously proud Irish people too.
Absolutely.
And we want to like give a piece of Irish culture and heritage to our Irish American community here in Old Town as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you certainly have done that too. There a lot of Irish culture in this community as well. something that we know happens every year too is the Irish Parade, which unfortunately we haven't had the chance to be able to do. But with that being said, we have the chance to come in here and you get a piece of Ireland. You can come in here almost any day of the week and get that vibe and get that feeling too, which is real special.
Absolutely. And March is also Irish American Heritage Month.
Okay.
So again, what I like to focus is the relationships throughout the years between the Irish and America.
Yeah.
So it's something that, like I said, we don't have the parade this year, but what I will say is it is literally St. Patrick's Day here every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. What I also think is really interesting is the building itself was actually built by Colonel William Fitzgerald, who was a Wicklow man.
Yeah.
And he actually built all of the buildings here on the 100 block. And his family home is actually what stands today as the Burke and Herbert.
Oh.
So that was his family home, and he was the aide to George Washington. So there's a lot of Irish history within the walls.
Yeah,
so
just layers on layers of history. I love it.
Right.
And by the way, layers and layers, just like how many floors there are, just layers and layers.
Absolutely. And it is funny when people come in first, because you look at the outside of the building and you say, oh, that's cool, that's a really cool Irish bar. People come in and are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea how big it is. So it is fabulous to see people's expressions when they come in. They have no idea how big it actually is. And we really are family too, though. And I know people like to say that, and it's really overused. This is a family owned and operated business. Our staff here have had, marriages, babies, like we're all a member of the O'Connell's family, and it's something that we take very seriously and we protect, we mind it, kind of thing. With everything nowadays going, it's so competitive across the board, it is so nice to be part of something that is still family owned and operated, and we're very proud of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't see that. You see a lot of restaurants kind of going the same route, and there's not maybe less unique to it. It's more of a business, and this is certainly that unique small business and one-of-a-kind kind of a place that you can't recreate.
Correct. And another thing, and if I can take the point of highlighting, I would be very, very passionate about the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
And back in 2019, we actually were winners of the Alexandria Chamber of Commerce Medium Business of the Year Awards.
Another round.
And the biggest thing that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention was, yes, I'm very proud of O'Connell's, but I'm very proud of the hospitality industry, and people don't realize that you're talking about multi-million-dollar businesses. Mm-hmm. So people just think of it as, oh, you're just coming in having fish and chips, shepherd's pie and pints of Guinness.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into running a business, because like I tell everyone, this isn't just Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We are open 7 days a week. So when the doors are closed, our staff go straight home. They have to come up the next morning and do it all over again with the smile on their face. And especially with everything COVID right now, it really is an applaud to all the staff in the hospitality industry, because everyone is doing what they've got to do, and that's just something we should all, and I would think we are all very proud of all the staff.
Yeah. Well, it's a labor of love,
Right.
and that's a very good point, and well said too, well spoken. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? The first thing I'm noticing, obviously, is a heavy Southern accent. I'm just kidding.
Right. I get that a lot. Drop the fake Irish accent.
All the time. But just tell us a little about yourself and how you came. It's 15 years, right?
20
years. My goodness.
Right.
I'll keep up.
Right.
But and such a pillar of the community as well. But how did you get here? How did you get involved?
So basically, you're talking about going back to 13 years ago when I first came to Alexandria. I had moved here from California in Coronado, and literally driving down King Street, my 2 sons in the back seat of the car were like, Mom, are we back home in Ireland? And so immediately I felt I was home. And I came across O'Connell's. O'Connell's was obviously already in operation since 2006. And I fell in love with the place completely. And when you do meet fellow Irish people, there is that natural draw. And so basically over the years, I got very friendly with the owner, and I started doing some consulting work for John Brennan, and which went on to getting more and more involved in the business, where ultimately John just said, okay, what do we need to do to get you here permanently on a full-time basis? So 3 years ago, I was offered the position of general manager, and Absolutely love every second and minute of it. It is a labour of love. It is something that you have to be able to prepare to give 7 days a week to. You can't get upset when your phone rings at 7 in the morning or at 2 in the morning.
Phone's always on.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't get that though, you know, and it's not for everybody. But the thing is, especially in this building, like I refer to the building as her. She's a lady. And you know, kind of thing. And my priority, especially during COVID when we had to close down, make sure everything is working operational, you know, kind of thing. So my background, I grew up in a bed and breakfast, so I was reared in the hospitality industry at the age of 6, bringing tea and coffee and making the orders all wrong for my poor mum in the kitchen. And through college, like we all did the whole working in the bars thing. But hospitality has been, it's very hand in hand with the Irish culture. You know, we are the country of 1,000 million welcomes, and it's so true. So it's a very easy transition for Irish, especially abroad, to break into the hospitality industry. And like I said, you know, the staff here are absolutely amazing, you know, and that's another thing I'd like to kind of say. When you know your staff have been there for at least 8, 9, 10 years, you know there's something's going on that's right. You know what I mean?
It speaks volumes to the establishment, to the culture that you have created there, and to the people who manage it, run it, own it, etc. Because as we all know, in restaurants, a high rate of turnover, and when I hear 8, 9 years, some restaurants don't even make it that long. When I came in this morning, you told me welcome home, and it felt great, and it felt great, you know, and that's the kind of thing when you come in here that just radiates and emanates out of this whole building and out of the staff too.
And the other thing as well, which I love telling people, because I always like boasting about our staff. I mean, honestly and truly, we have the best staff in Old Town, and I say that with 100% seriousness. But all our staff, they're all professionals. This isn't a transient area where people are just filtering through to go, you know, to get through college. These are professionals who have, this is their livelihood, and they do an outstanding job. And you can tell the difference when you go to an establishment of, you just know you're in a different environment when you are with people who are, this is their livelihood, this is their profession. And like I said, they do an outstanding job every day.
And yeah, of course, stellar job. And to kind of transition to some of those people, Paul, who just made us I'm pointing, but it's just a beer, but Paul, who made us the Irish 57, again, part of the staff too. Tell us a little bit about, you know, the drink, when it's going on special, why is it so delicious? Because it was.
So we just rolled out our new cocktail menu, which it's something that you know what I mean? Not that you want to like change something completely, but there were areas that we could have tweaked just to give it a little bit more uniqueness. I think, and I truly feel every establishment should have their own unique cocktails, but definitely the Irish 57 is a take on the French 75. And what we have done is we topped it off with the IPA from
the Optimal Wit from Port City, and which is, if you're in Old Town and you haven't had an Optimal Wit yet, I don't know where you've been. I don't mean to be rude, but you know, especially as we come into spring and summer, this is the beer you just want to. It's your all day beer, right?
And they're fabulous to work with too. I mean, again, it's a partnership, and that's how I feel it, especially with Port City. Like, we really are a partnership. I can't do my job without the support from Port City, and vice versa. And again, it's all about building relationships and keeping those relationships and having a good time doing it, but also just, you know, working hard, and they're awesome.
And I think what you just said there, once again, another well articulated point, that it's everyone helping within each other, and it just feeds right back into what it is here. It's community, a sense of pride of where you live, and appreciation for your neighbors, and that all shows in what you create and how you serve and how you're served here. And to me, everything spot on, all the way. So what can we do right now? Tell us, like, you know, it's different hours. We're in a kind of a different era, et cetera. But how can we come into O'Connell's? What are hours right now? How do we come support, and what do we have coming up?
So basically, right now, Mondays and Tuesdays we open at 3. And so, but starting tonight, I'm very excited that we do get to extend our closing times. Up until yesterday, we had to have alcohol off the tables and consumed and everything by 10 p.m. That has now been extended to midnight, which is great. So I'm hopeful that we're moving in the right direction, and everyone is comfortable with that transition. And so then you're basically, our regular hours are 11 in the morning, to now last call will be at 11:15, 11:20. with, as I said, with the midnight being the cut-off time. The other thing then, the weekends we open at 10 and we do brunch 10 to close. So what I would just say to everyone, you know, that is a fan of O'Connell's and wants to keep supporting us is we do amazing carry out, we do amazing delivery. Anytime we get a reservation, the first thing I will always make sure the staff always ask the guest is there anywhere particular in the building you want to be sat at? Because my priority is to make sure that our guests feel comfortable coming inside.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, we have a beautiful, beautiful big building, so people can pick to where they want it. There's not a section closed. It's not like this part of the restaurant isn't open. All of the restaurant is open, and I would encourage our guests and community to absolutely don't be afraid or shy to say, hey, can I sit upstairs because it's a little bit quieter? We're here to serve you all.
Absolutely.
And again, you know what I mean? And I would like to make a point though, is to thank the residents of Alexandria.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are the luckiest people, we really, really are. And I do feel for our neighbours over in DC because they have a different scenario altogether. But for Alexandria itself, we have the best support in the world. And I think as well, that's a testament to the restaurants, because it's the relationships we have with our neighbouring restaurants. That's very, very important. And that there's a lot of respect there and love. You know, you want everyone to do well. You don't want to see anyone close down. The first question I'll always ask to a neighbouring restaurant is, do you need me for anything? Is there anything that you need? And that there's a knock-on effect, and that's contagious. And I think, and I don't think, I know it for a fact, that we have shown ourselves to the community of Alexandria how amazing we are and how amazing the hospitality industry is. And we're all very, very lucky, and as I said, proud to be in Alexandria.
Well, we're proud to have you here and lucky to have you here in Alexandria. And I can speak personally to that. Yes, you reach out to people. How may I help you? I can say personally that is exactly what you've done and what you continue to do. So if you want to come out here and support, remember that Monday, Tuesday, 3 o'clock, get in the door. We get something to eat, get something to drink. The rest of the week, starting now, you're open till midnight. You can come in here for lunch. And then on the weekends, check out their really, really tasty brunch as well. And don't forget, you can always get takeaway. You can always order ahead and make reservations as well. So please come out, support, just like they've been supporting the community as well. Eve, what an absolute pleasure to sit down with you.
And
you
likewise.
are a treasure, absolutely.
I've been called worse, don't worry.
Well, did you have anything else that you wanted to add for us today?
Just basically, you know, thanks for doing this. This is a fabulous incentive and idea, and it just gives that extra step to our guests that are at home who might be still a little bit nervous to come out. So this is a fabulous virtual cocktail concept, and I just want to applaud yourself and Victoria and Old Town Business for setting this up, because it gives us the opportunity to go home, to get into people's homes and know that we're all related, we're all in this together, you know, kind of thing. And thanks for the opportunity just for me personally to tell my little story and O'Connell's story, and on behalf of the owner John Brennan and all the staff, thanks very much for everything. You guys are amazing, and thank you to Port City.
Again, Neve, what a great time, and thank you again for making the time. It was a pleasure. We're going to send it over to Victoria, who's over with our friends at Boxwood right now. Enjoy.
My business partner Leah Donahue and I have always said that Royal Street is the best side street just off King. South Royal Street is also the home of some awesome businesses. We couldn't be more proud to share the block with two fabulous restaurants, Fontaine's and Brut. We have worked with both businesses on a few opportunities, and they are such a joy. We also love everything in their menus. I also couldn't be happier being 2 doors down from 529 Kids Consigns. We think it's the best place in town to grab great deals and high-end clothing, and we just love Megan and her staff. They're also super friendly. Across Prince Street, we have Sarah Campbell, who is also selling the classic style women's clothing for Alexandrians. And last but not least, here on Royal Street is Old Town Books. Yes, that's right. Old Town Books is opening their doors this month, and they will be right next door to us here at Boxwood. Welcome to Boxwood.
Well, I hope you sure are enjoying that wonderful Irish 57. Paul, it looks like a great drink. I can't wait to give it a try. What a great cocktails, especially for St. Patrick's Day. Looking forward to it. Today we have the fortune of meeting with Joanna Serbin, who is one of the co-owners of Boxwood here in Old Town. And it is one of the wonderful places for home goods. I was thrilled when you guys kind of took it over, rebranded. So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get into this? Are you a retailer? Are you a local? So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Joanna. I'm a co-owner here at Boxwood, and I have to say I got into retail from a young age. My mother owned a store in Amelia Island, a little beach store, and she got me in her store working, and that's how I got the retail bug. And when I finished college, I just didn't think I was going to get into retail, and I got into IT, event management, and that was a lot of fun but very hard. And then I met my husband, and we had 2 children and became a stay-at-home mother. And I always had that itch once I was raising my children to start my own business. And it wasn't until my son, John, was in high school, I was having lunch with a friend who owned a store here in Old Town, and she told me she was closing and she was looking for somebody to take over. And I just knew this was the right calling. And we met again at the store, and I thought, okay, John's going to be gone in a year. I'm going to be an empty nester. This is the perfect time. And but I knew I also needed a business partner, and I looked around and I found Leah, who has just been my lifesaver. And we just met and gelled, and I couldn't ask for a better partner. And so we rebrand into Boxwood, and we started out as more of a home decor store, but more and more people come in looking for a small gift for their mother or grandmother or friend or a hostess gift. And we are now evolving more into a gift store as well. So home decor and gift store.
Lovely. But I do know that the home part is kind of also one of the, with everybody working on their homes these days because of COVID.
Yes.
I know that you carry wonderful paints. They're just spectacular and one of the great sources here in Old Town.
Yes. We opened up and talked to Annie Salone. It was a whole big application process to be able to be her stockist. But I had been working with that product before at home myself and thought it would be a great addition here in Old Town to be able to sell it. And she came into our store and thought this would be a great fit for selling her product. And it has been such a benefit and a lifesaver of keeping the business going through COVID. We've had more and more people come in wanting her product because everyone's home doing home projects, and so this is the place to come and get their paint to do their home project.
And I also love that you carry a lot of local designers. Is that right? And
Yes. We have Sue Henry from Toulouse. We have her masks and a lot of her textile products, and she actually painted this beautiful wall.
Looks
a lot
great.
of people come in thinking it's wallpaper, but it's actually hand painted by Sue using the Annie Salone chalk paint.
Wow, I love that touch.
Yeah.
So I know you carry a lot of cocktail napkins.
Yes,
and,
yes.
I'm eyeing these adorable champagne buckets here. Tell me a little bit about those.
Well, about a month or 2 ago, Leah called me and she's like, Joanna, I have been eyeing this picnic blanket online, and they're based out of London, England, and let me know what you think about it. So I went online and I looked at these picnic blankets and just thought, oh, they're perfect for Boxwood. They're so colorful and beautiful. They're made of wool. The company, Heating and Plumbing of all names, said, well, you have to get our top selling item with the picnic blanket, and this is the they actually have a little spot for you to
Oh, how
for
wonderful.
the champagne bottle to hold into, so it's not falling
And
all
they
over
look
the
like they're
place.
acrylic.
Yeah, they are
So they're
acrylic.
truly perfect for picnics.
Yes.
Go down to the waterfront and spread out your blanket, have
Yeah.
your little picnic, and open a bottle of champagne and celebrate that this
Yes.
pandemic's soon going to be over, huh?
Yes, that's exactly what it's there for. Yeah.
Those are great.
We also carry these wonderful mats from Milan, Italy. We found this vendor at one of our shows, Phil Madly in Love. We've had them in here since we opened 2 years ago. And another product line products that we sell a lot of in the store are candles. We have like 3 or 4 different candle lines. We just brought in a new candle line. And they are made here in the state of Virginia, and we are doing really well with them. But we find that the candles are a great hostess gift. When people are coming in all the time asking, I just need something really quick because I'm going to someone's house for dinner and I need a quick hostess gift, and they always end up buying it. For entertaining, we also have, we set in a big agreement with Caspari, and so we are carrying almost their entire full line of napkins and place settings, placemats, and trays, and people are now, our customers are coming in for all these wonderful, beautiful color napkins and for their
is
table settings.
We're
Yeah.
all anxious to start entertaining again.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, definitely. And then we also have these blocks and games that are all kid friendly. And
You've got something for everyone here.
yes, we do.
Galore.
We also carry this line, Vietri line. They're actually Italian as well. And they have these beautiful napkins that are throwaway, but people come in thinking that, and because they feel so soft, that they are reusable, but actually they're disposable napkins. They're beautiful. And then we also carry, which has been one of our top sellers, is the Vietri bud vases. They're the small little glass vases, and they make the perfect gift for your mother or a neighbor, grandmother, Mother's Day gift. And they're very colorful little small bud vases.
One-stop shop especially for presents. I mean, it's just,
Yes.
you've really got a special store here, and we're thrilled that you are here.
Well,
and
thank
love
you.
that you're part of the home decor areas of town as well.
Yes.
So that's wonderful. So tell everybody where you're located.
We are at 128 South Royal Street, and we think that this is the street to be on since we're off of King Street. And we love being near all these other wonderful businesses.
Yeah, it's a very eclectic block. It's just
Yes,
wonderful.
yes. And
food
I love
spots.
having the 2 restaurants here as well. And it brings me much joy at night when I'm leaving the store and seeing the 2 restaurants booming with a lot of clients.
Yeah, it's nice,
outside.
especially I think Old Town has really pivoted. I think a lot of us small businesses, a lot of us are women-owned, but we have really tried to do our best to kind of go with the flow and kind of adapt our models of doing work. How have you changed here, and what are your thoughts about the future?
Once COVID hit and we had to close our store, we immediately knew that we needed to get our online e-commerce up and running, and which we did. And that has helped us so much, especially selling the Annie Sloan chalk paint and doing curbside.
What's your website?
It's boxwoodoldtown.com. Okay. And speaking of Old Town, we are considering and thinking about expanding to Charlottesville because Leah, my business partner, moved to Charlottesville, and
wonderful.
we're talking
Success,
about
bringing the success everywhere, huh?
yes, we're bringing Boxwood everywhere.
That's great.
Yeah, but yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for letting us into the store today. You're such a wonderful addition to Old Town, and we just love having you here, and it's been wonderful talking with you. And John, I'm going to throw it back to you, and let's go talk with Port City Brewery and see what we can learn from them today about the optimal beer that they used in that wonderful Irish 57.
Victoria and Joanna over at Boxwood. It was really awesome. Now I have the opportunity here at O'Connell's hang out with my good friend Emma Quinn over here from Port City. Emma, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. I'm doing great too. This is, first off, another beautiful room here at O'Connell's. We're sitting here fireside, talking beer. It couldn't be a better day. So, Emma, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself for the people who don't know you.
Sure. My name is Emma Quinn. I'm the marketing and events manager over at Port City Brewing Company. I'm going on my 7th year.
Nice.
We'll hit that milestone in June. So it's been a really great time working there. I got into the brewing industry right after I turned 21. I was drinking a lot of beers and trying new stuff in Richmond, Virginia, where I was living. And I was working at a bar, and one of the beers we got on draft was Optimal Wit.
Yeah.
And on the tap handle, it said Alexandria, Virginia, and I had no idea that this brewery existed. This was back still in 2011, so the first year that Port
I was
City
going to say that's
had been open.
Year one.
And so I got some friends in a car, and we drove up to do a tour, and I fell in love. It was the first brewery I had gone to, and at that time I had probably gone to about 30, that I tried all of the beers, and I thought, these are all good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I had been homebrewing at the time and really interested in craft beer, so I set about putting all the pegs into place and ended up moving up to Northern Virginia and started working part-time at Port City.
So first up, that's an awesome story, right? And Richmond, really, really known for crafty things and an appreciation of good food and good drinks,
That's
too.
right.
And you said 7 years now, huh?
7 years, yeah.
And Port City has been with us 10 years now, right?
10,
just
just-
celebrated the milestone,
That's right, on February 5th.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Another round of
Thank you.
applause. We're doing a lot
Thank
of
you.
round of applauses in O'Connell's today. I love it. It's always a good cheer in here. So for friends, if you don't know Port City, let's talk about Port City.
Okay.
Tell us everything we need to know.
Well, there's a lot. But
Well, tell
Let's get
us the most important things,
the
really, because
basics.
we could sit here for a few hours
Yeah.
talking about it.
So our founders, Bill and Karen Butcher, were living in Alexandria. Bill Butcher is a native to Alexandria, I believe 3rd generation Alexandrian. And they were drinking, they were getting into the craft beer scene back into the late 2000s, early 2000s. And what they were drinking were West Coast beers, or maybe some Boston beers from Sam Adams.
Sure.
But they weren't getting any local brews. And so they were enjoying this craft beer movement, but they were wondering, why can't we find a locally brewed craft beer that meets this quality of, say, Sierra Nevada? They were drinking a lot of Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
And so Bill Butcher set about, he was actually in the wine industry at the time, and left Mondavi Wine Family and decided to set about opening up the first packaging production brewery in the DC metro area. And so he found our original head brewer, Jonathan Reeves, and the two of them joined together to create Port City Brewing Company. It's always been in the same building that it is today on Wheeler Avenue. We've expanded on the street a little bit, but yeah, we opened in 2011, right on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's a great day to start it.
So it's easy to remember
Yeah.
every year. And he wanted to provide 6-packs that people could take home to watch the game with. So
Very cool.
yeah, a lot of people said Bill was crazy for starting with a bottling line and all of these tanks right off the bat.
Yeah.
But his goal was to put beer into packaging and have it available at the local grocery store so people could get local beer at their local store and enjoy something crafted here.
And a beautiful vision, and one that he's obviously executed extremely well. And coming from that background too, the Mondavi family, right? Another person who people say, you're crazy to go out and grow in California, right?
Right.
And to do this. So he's coming from a great background of, I know what I want to do, and I know what the people should get, and I'm going to make it for them, which is a really, really cool thing.
Exactly.
So 10 years of Port City Brewing. And the thing about the craft beer too, and we're talking cocktails here for Cocktail Week, but craft beer, which I was always so appreciate, helps a lot of people who maybe not be into cocktails as much. It really generates that interest in it and sparks that creativity. And it's what people said, maybe I don't need to drink these generic brands of beers. And we had the craft beer movement, and people started to appreciate craftsmanship, flavor profiles and styles of beer.
Right.
It just kind of snowballed for cocktails, for food, and all the things in restaurants. So like the beer really helped to do that. And pairing beer with foods, especially, which is one of my food pairings, one of my favorite things.
Same.
So we're sitting here with Optimal Wit. And now Port City, I'm from Northern Virginia myself, had the pleasure of, since basically day one, restaurants I've been involved with, being able to have it. Optimal Wit is the one for me that, like, come springtime, summertime, Optimal Wit is the go-to, right? It
Right.
is just so popular, and it's a lot of people's first experience with Port City that I'm finding too is the Optimal Wit.
Right. Well, when Bill opened, like I said, he was drinking a lot of Sierra Nevada and their IPA, and
Yeah.
so what he thought was going to be our flagship was our Monumental IPA.
Yeah, which is a great beer.
And it's still our second most popular style, but
course.
we were never expecting the Optimal Wit to take off like it did, but it just was something that those who maybe were drinking Budweiser or hadn't really tried craft beer, this was their first experience, it was a really great way to be introduced to craft beer.
Yeah.
It is one of our most local styles. We use 100% Virginia grown wheat in this beer, and so we love to shine a light on that. And the wheat comes from Heathsville, Virginia in the northern neck.
Yeah.
And it's grown through the winter, and then it's harvested in the summer. And we get about 100 tons of this wheat a year.
Oh, that's it.
Just 100 tons for the Optimal Wit, not including our tidings
goodness.
and our River Shed and our Star Sailor, which use the same raw wheat that we get from Heathsville. And our packaging was inspired by that as well. This beer, it pairs extremely well with food. It's great to make with cocktails. I've seen people put a splash of orange juice in it and call it a Whitmosa.
Okay.
You know, we've seen a lot of takes on this beer.
And yeah, it has a lot of versatility too, and even without even making cocktails, a lot of versatility in how you can drink it too. Where, you know, if you're going out for a picnic, it does really well, but at the same time, it pairs with a lot of food too that are really tasty. So the name Optimal Wit, right? So I think sometimes people just look at the name, and I'll order it, but there's information in that name too.
Right.
So what are you trying to tell us about?
Right. So Optimal Wit, a wit beer is a Belgian style beer, and wit beer translates in Flemish to white beer. And that comes from the raw wheat and the unfiltered nature that they were calling it by what it looked like. Cloudy.
It's cloudy. It's cloudy. It's a little hazy. Yeah.
Yes, from all of that Belgian yeast and the wheat in the beer that leaves this kind of white color. It's just how they defined it back in the day. And the style kind of died off when Pilsners took over. Pilsners took over the world.
Sure. Yeah.
But then Hoegaarden started making their wit beer, and it really became a very, very popular style. So wit comes from wit beer. And optimal, obviously, we just think it's the best.
Yeah,
we think
exactly.
It's optimal. It tastes like sunshine and happiness, is what we say.
And that I'm stealing that sunshine and happiness. That's but it's accurate. You know, it's so accurate.
We've submitted this into a lot of competitions, and time again, it takes home medals.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. You know, because it is a great beer and it's brewed by great people and with passion. You know, and that's where the great product comes from too. And you know, I had a chance to speak with Adam the other week too, and you know that. Man, he's a wildly talented guy, and like the whole team there is too. And so it's no surprise that you continue to be rewarded in all of these competitions.
Well, they're passionate about it. Our brewers do an excellent job, and one of the hardest things in brewing is consistency.
Yeah.
And you know, people might knock the big beer companies, but if you have a Budweiser anywhere in the world, it's going to taste like a Budweiser. And that's something, that quality standard is something that every brewery should be aiming for. And so we want you to have a wit anytime and think that this tastes like a Port City Optimal Wit, and to know that flavor. And that is a testament to our brewers and the work that they put into making the beer.
And that's the recipe for success too. Like on a smaller scale thing, it's something we always try to execute in restaurants too. Consistency. Any day of the week you come in, whoever's working that shift as well, you get the same great service, same great product as well. So you guys are obviously very, very tightly knit with us as a community in Alexandria and in Old Town.
One thing I think is very cool is Alexandria was it was once part of Washington, D.C. proper. DC used to be a complete 10 by 10 diamond, and if you look at our logo, it's actually inspired by that original boundaries of Washington, D.C., which would have included Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh, very cool.
The proper city. So the port of Alexandria was the main port for Washington, D.C. up until 1846. So all of the shipments and everything was coming through Alexandria. And so when Bill Butcher wanted to open up a brewery in Alexandria, he named it Port City after the famous port city of Alexandria. And so we feel that we have a tie to DC and Alexandria and all of Virginia. We consider ourselves dual citizens almost of these two places. And so that is something that I really like to mention about our history.
I love that, man, because I love how history ties in. It's so hand in hand with food and drink as well. And I'm really loving how this episode, this March episode, we are getting a rich feeling of history, but not only with the talk earlier with Neve and O'Connell's, but with Port City as well, because there's so much history with all of it.
And also, our logo is the original 10 by 10 border, but also the lighthouse in there is the Jones Point Park Lighthouse, which was the lighthouse for the Port of Alexandria back in the day. So.
And that's beautiful. You can go down there and have a picnic now.
Yeah, and you can still look at the lighthouse. It's a literal house with a light on it.
Yep.
It's not like one of those, North Carolina lighthouses that you see.
It's if you haven't been to Jones Point and checked it out, another great thing, socially distance and stay outside and check out right now too. My dogs and I love to walk around over there as well. It's a beautiful thing. So right now for Port City, I know just celebrated 10 years again. Same location. Where is that location right now? Where are you guys?
We're on Wheeler Avenue, so West Alexandria, right off of Duke Street. We like to say 2 miles west of Old Town.
Cool. And so are we able to go and support you there right now? Are we able to dine outside? What are you guys offering right now?
So our tasting room team did a complete 180 last March. We all know what happened. And our team had to readjust completely. We had been offering indoor seating. We had been doing regular tours and tastings at the brewery. And we had to come up with a brand new system for curbside pickup. We added a delivery option. And then it was back, I think, around 4th of July that we opened for outdoor seating, which we have always been staying behind the phases in Virginia. I think they're in phase 3 right now, but we're still in a phase 1. So we are not even offering indoor seating, but we have outdoor, curbside, and delivery every day still.
Nice. And then also, again, we had mentioned before, you can get it in the grocery stores too, and get it at O'Connell's, or you get it at your favorite bar or pub as well. And brewery tours eventually, hopefully, could be on the horizon or something like that as well.
Well, we've been offering virtual VIP tour and tastings, and you can do trivia and tasting for a private group.
Oh, amazing. And now how do we get signed up for that?
You can look on our website. You can email info@portcitybrewing.com. You can email emma@portcitybrewing.com. I mean, there is information on pricing and everything on our website, and a link in our bio on all of our social medias.
Nice.
So you can easily get your friends or your teammates signed up for a virtual tour and tasting of the brewery, and you get a 4-pack swag pack of
very cool.
4 beers and a bottle opener and some swag. And
that's awesome.
With the trivia, you get 4 rounds of trivia and 4 beers, and it's been really fun. So we've been able to adapt for our events and our tastings as well to go online, though we are really looking forward to one day opening the tasting room back up and having people there. But safety has been our priority, and we never want to backtrack. So we say, oh, we're open. Okay, no, now we're not. And so we've been keeping it very cautious. But our outdoor seating area is lovely. We put up lights. They've got space heaters, and our team has been cranking out really great beers. We've been pulling out beers from our cellar series, which are, barrel-aged beers or something special that we only did one version of. And if you're checking our social media regularly, you'll see those posts when we're advertising, because it's usually a very limited amount. And we've been so lucky to have the Alexandria community, which has been extremely supportive. People are like, I don't need beer, but can I just buy a case, or can I buy gift cards, and how can we support? And then, of course, you mentioned our partners and restaurants, and they have been, struggling. And so we're directing people, like, buy your beer what's close to you. If there's a store that sells our beer, like, please get it there. Don't go out of your way to come to us, because supporting our partners is supporting us, and we want everybody to survive this pandemic.
Well, and of course, and great point, by the way. The community, thank you for being so supportive of us. And again, thank you all for being so supportive of the restaurants too. We're all doing what we can right now, and you guys are always there to help and take part in a project and team up and get something fun going on as well, which I really appreciate as well. So if you're looking to support Port City right now, friends, remember you can order online, correct?
You can order for delivery online if you're within 5 miles. You can place your curbside pickup order online and reserve your table online.
Yeah, and reserve a table outside. Remember, you can come here to O'Connell's, grab yourself a pint. You can go to a lot of the local restaurants around here too. And just like the dream of the company in the beginning, you can go to your local grocery store, pick up a 6-pack, pick up a case, and enjoy Port City in the safety and comfort of your own home. So Emma, what a great time. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with us today and talk all things Port City. It has been a pleasure.
Of course, thank you so much for having us and for featuring Port City.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. And again, we appreciate you too.
What a great episode this has been. A lot of fun and a wonderful way to keep going with the St. Patrick's Day kickoff here.
Oh yeah, always have fun in the Irish bar, right? So thanks to our friends here at O'Connell's, thanks to our friends at Boxwood, and thanks to our friends at Port City. We had a great time with you. I hope you had a great St. Patrick's Day as well.
And we look forward to welcoming you next month at Old Town Cocktail Virtual Happy Hour.
Cheers and be well, Old Town.